For today, I'm going to be making a super simple beef and broccoli meal that has about 30 grams of protein per serving and takes less than 30 minutes to make. I'm making 4 servings, so it's also great for a high protein meal prep, and it's one of the meals helping me stay consistent during my 90-day reset. Okay, so first things first, we're going to start with our rice. It takes about half an hour to cook, so I want to put that in first because the beef broccoli is going to be pretty quick. Wash your rice at least 3 times. I was always taught to measure my rice with my finger. I don't know how you guys make your rice, but I always go, hopefully you can see this. Okay, so I'll put my finger in, and you want your rice to be about an inch. And then you'll put your finger back in, and from the rice, you'll want your water to be also 1 inch. So rice, water. Hopefully that helped you. First, we're just going to be chopping up our broccoli. I like to kind of chop it up into smaller pieces. Just grab this from Costco. Again, this is like, it can be an easy weeknight meal, or it can also be a meal prep. When I'm eating, I like to actually have like bite-sized pieces instead of these huge chunks of broccoli. That's just my preference. You don't have to do that. It's just an extra step. But one thing I wanted to mention about meal prepping, just to like make it easier for yourself, is to think about how many grams of protein that you need in one day. So for me, I'm doing 120 grams. And so when I'm like meal prepping, trying to find like simple recipes, I'm actually going to work backwards. So if I need 120 grams of protein, each meal, if I'm having like 3 bigger meals, would be 40 grams of protein. And then if I'm doing 4 smaller meals, I would be doing 30 grams of protein. And so for today, I am doing smaller meals. So this bowl is going to be a little bit over 30 grams of protein. My ground beef right here, this one has 21.4 ounces of ground beef. And I'm going to be splitting that into 4 separate meal prep meals. So each meal prep portion is going to have 5 ounces-ish of protein. So now I'm just going to season with some simple ingredients. Garlic powder. We're going to do black pepper and a little bit of salt. My video recorded with no audio apparently, but next I'm going to be adding about a tablespoon of ginger paste. And I actually just added this in when my beef was almost completely browned. I just want it to smell aromatic. And then after you have sauteed the beef and the ginger together, you're going to add in your broccoli. And when I am meal prepping, I always plan ahead. So I'm doing about 3/4 cup of broccoli for each portion. So that equals out to 3 cups total. And honestly, I like a little bit of crunch to my broccoli. So when I am sauteing this, I only have it in there maybe 2 or 3 minutes. So it has a slight crunch still, and also when you're reheating your broccoli, obviously it heats up again, and nobody likes a little mushy broccoli. So if you do not, only cook your broccoli for a couple minutes. And lastly, I'm topping it off with a little bit of soy sauce, and then you know me, I like to season heavily, so I am adding a little bit more of the garlic powder and black pepper. And of course, if you like a little bit of spice, you can always add some sriracha to that as well. So this is basically my version of like a Asian inspired beef broccoli that you don't have to go and order from an Asian restaurant. And again, these meals are supposed to be very simple, easy, something that you can either meal prep or have as like an easy weeknight recipe for your family. Nothing I'm doing on this channel is going to be extremely challenging or for like an experienced chef. I am primarily focused on just those overwhelmed moms like me who are balancing children, work, and just trying to rebuild our habits in a healthy, sustainable way. So that is my super simple beef and broccoli recipe. This is one of those meals that's been really helpful for me during my 90-day reset because it's quick, high in protein, and it makes it easier for me to stay consistent with eating real meals again. If you're someone who's trying to stay If you are someone who's trying to rebuild your routines, eat better, and get back on track, that's exactly what this channel is about. I'm documenting my reset and sharing the simple meals and habits that are helping me rebuild my life as a busy mom. If that sounds like something you're interested in, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.